Hey folks, it's Carl over at Sterling Health Fitness and who'sahealthy.com. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Ask the Expert. I'm really excited to have a very special guest with me today. I've been following this gentleman's work for a few years now. I've learned a great deal from him, not only about fitness, various types of exercises and specific workouts, but also nutrition and a lot of other things too. My guest is the president and owner of Funk Roberts Fitness and funkmma.com. He's a former professional beach volleyball player turned certified personal and metabolic trainer. Also, he's a MMA conditioning coach, an online fat loss expert, and Amazon #1 best-selling author for Rapid Body Makeover, which is awesome. He's also appeared as a fitness expert on ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox affiliates. So it's my great honor to introduce my special guest, Mr. Funk Roberts. How you doing, man?
I'm awesome, man, and thank you so much for that intro. That's the best intro I've had ever. So that was awesome, and it's my pleasure to be on this show. I'm really excited, and it's a pleasure to meet you as well. It's fantastic.
Thank you. I mean, I could go on and on too about a lot of different things. You have a very big following, and which is you worked hard for it. You deserve it. You've impacted so many people's lives, general population, plus a lot of trainers, and we're going to get into that, talk about some of that shortly here. But
Sure.
It's a real pleasure to have you here. I'm honored. So why don't we start, man? I'd like to know a little bit more background about you.
Sure. I mean, just like you said, for me, I started off as a professional beach volleyball player. I've played. I'm here from Canada, from Toronto, Canada. Played in Canada, played in the U.S., played all over the world, and 2-on-2 beach volleyball. But fitness was always a passion for me. I was always, reading Muscle and Fitness and Flex magazines ever since I was literally like a teenager and wanting to be huge and big and buff and massive. But, as you get older and, of course, being an athlete, the training kind of changes, your life changes. And I was always in shape, and I was always one of the more jacked volleyball players. Volleyball players aren't known to be big and muscular. They're mostly tall and skinny. I'm a shorter guy, 5'11". But I was always pretty muscular. And so I played all over the world, had an amazing career, 15 years. And then after I was finished, I still wanted to help. I started to want to help people get into shape along with myself. So I continued doing, training, and I started to become a personal trainer, doing more one-on-one training, a lot of traditional bodybuilding style type training, chest and back, bis and tris.
Right.
But what I found was that wasn't really fulfilling what I wanted to look. I wanted that. I was big, but I was puffy big. I call it, actually, Elliot Hulse calls it puffy muscle syndrome, male PMS. So I was big, but there wasn't a lot of cuts. There wasn't a lot of, couldn't see the abs, and it wasn't as functional as I wanted it to be.
Okay.
So kettlebells started to become big, and I started to read more and research more on different ways to get what I wanted, which was lean, ripped, and athletic. And then I also started to train in Muay Thai, and so that type of training led me to really have to find a way to train a lot differently than the general traditional weight training. So, long story short, I started running boot camps and metabolic boot camps using kettlebells, using a lot of body weight training, using other unconventional type pieces of equipment. And when I say metabolic, I mean that high intensity type training. You're doing one exercise for a period of time, followed by a short period of rest. But I really found that training literally transformed my body.
Yeah.
Me being 45 years old, I started doing that type of training in my mid-30s, and I've been pretty much lean, 185, low body fat ever since, and helped many people get to that point. whether they started off big and puffy or, a little bit leaner and wanted to build up that strength and muscle. That's when I started using the metabolic training. So for me, for me personally, it worked. And because it worked on me, I started to implement it on others. And then I've also, with my training as a Muay Thai fighter, that helped me with my training to be a little bit more being big and jacked, I guess, or big and muscular, but not being able to use it in the ring. So, yeah.
Well, one of the reasons that it was about 3 years ago that I stumbled upon your videos, actually, is how it was, which I'm really glad I did. But I was watching, and what I think of as a trainer is, or as a person in general is, first of all, I looked at you and said, okay, just based on his physique, he has to know what he's doing, because you can't get that way if you don't know how to get that way. If you don't know what you're doing, you can't get the definition that you have, for example. And so then I checked out more videos, then I subscribed to your channel, and so I probably see 100 or something of them, but that for viewers out there, we'll be running a lot of links across the screen during this whole thing when I edit, and you got to check out his website, you got to check out his YouTube channel, because there are hundreds of videos there. I don't know how many. There's a ton.
Yeah, there's 600 videos. 600 videos.
What a great resource.
And I continue. Yeah, I mean, for me, I talk, but I gotta walk. I talk to talk, but I gotta walk to walk. Especially for myself. I mean, I gotta be able to do the workouts that I'm, imposing on others, whether they're fighters, whether they're just regular people, or whether, I think that trainer should put together, the collection of these exercises into a metabolic workout or session. Right. I try it on myself. I try it on my fighters, and I put that all up on YouTube and on my videos, and I think that's really important. Again, for me anyway, to be able to show, hey guys, look, this is working on me. It's worked on me. I've used it from, one of the things I also did when I was 40 is I wanted to have a Muay Thai fight in Thailand. So, and also as a MMA conditioning coach, I also wanted to be able to also walk the walk. So literally know how it felt to start from ground zero 8 months prior and go through the training of every day, the nutrition, the mental, fatigue, and then flying to Thailand, immersing myself into that culture and fighting a Thai fighter. As a coach, yes, there's a lot of coaches who can coach their fighters without having to have done it. But for me, I really wanted to be able to say, look, guys, I know what it takes to train up to a fight. I know how much. There's days that you don't want to do it. There's days where you want to quit, but you can't do it. And so I've lived it. And so for me, that was a very important journey that I took. From, again, ground zero. Literally, I hadn't done Muay Thai in a long time, so I was really starting from ground zero, training 6 days a week, having to eat. I was working at that time. I was working on my own business at that time. And then going to Thailand, fighting. I won that fight, thank goodness.
Oh,
but now I can, when I'm training my fighters and, they're in that mindset of, okay, I can't do any more, or, I don't really feel like training. I can say, guys, look, I know where you're at. I know what you've got, I know what it takes to step into that ring. And, whether it's a little push, whether it's a little motivational talk, a little inspiration, that's really helped. And not just on the fighter side, but also just a regular person who wants to make that change. It's the same sort of mentality. They're going to think that they can't do it, or they're too tired, but they've got to look at that goal, that where they want to, they're strong why they're doing this, look at where they want to get to, and then hopefully I can help them, whether it's through videos or whether it's one-on-one or whether it's in class, to push them past that uncomfortable time, that uncomfortableness to get to their goal.
Yeah, those are great points you bring up, too. Going back to the first part of that, being the example is that's what I strive to be also. And I'm always trying to get better, to tweak more, tweaking my diet more. but getting real disciplined and real specific about it, because that seems to make the most difference in my physique, if anything. And of course, training is equally as important, but you can eat poorly and train a lot, and you aren't going to see the same results. But
no,
you dial in on that diet, you dial in on that nutrition, find what works for you, and stick with it. There's plenty of helpful information out there on your channel, and I have some stuff on my website, and it's like that is a battle for a lot of people too. The emotional eating. I mean, I still go through this. I'm still, every day there's something I want to grab that I shouldn't grab. Once in a while I have a tiny bit of it, sometimes a little more. A lot of times lately it's none, and I'm proud of myself because then I see the difference. And so being, like you said, you want to be the example, walk the walk, and walk the talk, and be able to do the workouts, be able to demonstrate. I think that's a great way to be a leader, be a teacher, and help people.
Yeah, Carl, you hit the nail on the head there when you said you can do as many workouts as you want, but if your nutrition isn't on point, you're not going to get the results. And there's a great saying: you can't out-train a bad diet. And I learned that firsthand. I was the king.
Me too.
Pastas and eating crappy, and literally I ate where I felt like I wanted, because when I was younger, at 22. I was able to metabolize all of that, right? And because I was playing, professional sport, but as you get older, metabolism slows down. And again, no matter how many workouts that you do, no matter how many long runs you go for, if your nutrition isn't on point, not only are you not going to, if it's losing weight you want to do, you're not going to lose the weight you want. If it's burning fat, you're not going to burn the fat. And on the flip side, if it's trying to build muscle and to get bigger and stronger, if you're not feeding your body the right foods and the proper foods, you're not going to build that muscle. Your body's going to hold on to the fat. It's going to metabolize your muscles and the protein in your muscles, and you're not going to be able to get to where you want to get to, whatever that goal is. So nutrition, you got to spend 100% on your nutrition and 100% on your workouts if you want to get those results. And yes, it is tough. It's not easy. All of us have those foods that we love to eat. All of us have those times when we feel bad and we want to eat something to cheer ourselves up emotionally. And all of us have times when, you're tired and you're fatigued and, mentally you're just not strong enough to eat the right foods, and you just revert back to your old type of eating. And then fourth, there's a lot of people who go on those fad diets where you can't sustain the nutrition. And nutrition and a plan is all about sustaining it for a long period of time. You've got to find something. You've got a lifestyle. You got to find something that allows you to that you can say a year down the road, I'm still eating the exact same way I did, and this is what I look like. If you ask any of your friends who've done diets, low carb, high carb, whatever the diet, there's so many out there, it's unbelievable. How many of those people are still on that diet and look the way they do? Very, 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 very few. I would say 1 out of 100 people can really benefit from and continue a diet for a long period of time. And I even think it's even less than that. So you've got to really create a lifestyle of nutrition, an eating lifestyle that allows you to do it for a long period of time, where yes, you can have cheat meals and have some of the foods that that you shouldn't have, but because exactly how to eat properly, you'll know how to get back to where you need to get back to, or what have you. So I think that the nutrition part and making it a healthy lifestyle is extremely important, and sticking to it and being able to stick to it for a long period of time.
Yeah, I really appreciate you bringing that up too, because it's so important. And I think for a lot of people, that's their biggest struggle. They can, if they get over the not wanting to work out, but they still do it anyways, then that's another big deal. But if they can't dial in on the diet, it makes all the difference when they finally dial in and they see the results. They stick with it. Then they see the results and they're like, whoa, my body fat's down, my clothes fit different, and then they get motivated to stay on it a lot of times, which is really nice too. I mean, I've been there because I used to be a lot heavier, and it was pretty disgusting, really. But once I got on a roll and I tweaked my diet, I'm like, whoa, I'm down from a 40 to a 38 and 36, then finally a 34 waist. I'm like, I haven't been in one of those since 1996. So that motivates me to stay on the plan and maintain that lifestyle. And so thank you for sharing that. That's fantastic information. Could you tell us a little bit about metabolic training? Share with us,
sure.
Just talk with us about that, because you have some great videos on that stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a big, obviously I'm certified metabolic trainer, so I think I'll talk it up every time. I think it's a fantastic way to help you burn fat while you build muscle. A lot of people, so the metabolic training is basically, for the lay terms, it's like HIIT training, high intensity interval training. Let's say that you'll take 5 exercises, for example, and you exercise 45 as many as possible, and in between you and so on and so on. You know, a lot of calories, a lot more calories during the workout, but also invokes what's called EPOC, excess post-workout oxygen consumption. I think I got that right.
Yeah, you got that.
Which basically is the afterburn effect.
Right.
Which is basically the afterburn effect. So it's not only are you going to burn calories during, but it's the 24 to 36 hours after that your body is still metabolizing to try to get back down to the level that it was before you started. So that's amazing for everyone. For everybody. That's incredible, because what that's what you want. You want to be able to burn as more calories than you take in, and you can't do that just by doing one, traditional workout or a traditional workout session, because you're not going to be able to burn as many calories. The most effective way, what I found, or a highly effective way, is those metabolic type training. And there's different styles of metabolic training, but the one that I just, the example I just gave you is just one small example of many others. But it's that high intensity type training that you can do for a short period of time. You don't have to be in the gym for 45 minutes or an hour. And for someone like me who has an online business that works at 10, 15, 20 hours a day sometimes, finding the time to do short workouts that I can literally do in my home right here behind you. I have a very small space. And I know I need to get a workout in. I will do, a 10 exercise body weight circuit right here. That'll take me 30 minutes. And I know from the end and afterwards, I'm burning I'm sweating still. I'm burning a ton of calories. I'm getting stronger, and I'm burning fat. And that's the bottom line. So that's why I love implementing metabolic training, metabolic workouts. I do it for my fighters because with combat fighting, that high intensity followed by low intensity is very prominent in that sport. Sometimes you're going crazy, and then sometimes you're at a lull, or if you're grappling. So mimicking that type of workout is great. For the regular person, I run a conditioning for fighters class every week. But it's so funny because a lot of those people who come to that class are not fighters. They just want to get fit like a fighter. They want to do the fighter training, but they don't want to get punched in the face. They don't want to get choked out, but they still want the benefits of training like a fighter, both physically and then also functional strength that they can use in everyday life. And then trainers,
it's so important.
For trainers, metabolic training is an amazing way to implement it in boot camps, implement it to your clients, because you want them to get results. You want them to have a great time. Also, you want them to come back. And metabolic training does that. It challenges them. It gets them into that little uncomfortableness that they know that they're going to get results afterward. During those sessions, they hate me. Believe me, they hate me. I'm on them all the time. Come on, let's go, push. And then, literally 5 minutes after, they're like, man, I love that. I can't get enough of this. It's addicting. It really is. And it's a good addiction to have.
Yeah, oh, it's great, man. It's great. I love those workouts. And yeah, so again, folks, for viewers out there, be sure to, his YouTube channel will be showing up here. You got to go check it out. There's some fantastic workouts, great information. I mean, I've been going there for 3 years getting information.
Thank you again. I appreciate it.
Before we sign off, is there any takeaway message? Anything you want to send out there to the listeners and the viewers?
Yeah, I think, the main thing is, guys, it doesn't matter what your goal is or where you are right now. It doesn't matter where you are right now, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, you're big, advanced. You got to set a goal. First of all, you can reach and you can do whatever you want to do. You can do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There will be barriers. There will be little things that get in your way, but you can do it. You need to commit. First thing you need to do is commit to something and lay out what your goal is, what the plan is, and commit. Then you got to be consistent. Continue to be consistent with your commitment. Yes, there's going to be times where, again, you'll hit a barrier or something may happen, but you've got to continue along your path to whatever goal that you set. And you got to continue to challenge yourself. If you're not good at an exercise, you're not good at something, you get good at it. Be 1% better than you were yesterday. So you got to challenge yourself on a daily basis. And those are some of the things, not just in fitness, but in life in general, that will help you to be successful, that will help you to reach your goals, that will help you to be just a better overall person, stronger overall person. So yeah, the 3C is what I call it, commit, consistency, and challenge yourself. And I honestly, it doesn't matter where you start, you will be successful. I was not good at all in Muay Thai before I fought in Thailand. And for 8 months, I literally trained. I got better and better. Yes, there was frustrating times. There was many times I didn't want to go for a long run because I hate running, but I knew I had to do it. There were so many times I wanted to eat big, massive plates of pasta, but I knew I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
As we got closer, I got scared. I was scared to go to Thailand to fight, but I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So all those emotions and all of those things are natural, and they will happen as you go through whatever journey it is. You've got to embrace it. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable, because you're going to be in many uncomfortable situations, which life is in general. But you just know that you can overcome. I know I went off for a bit, but just know you can overcome, and you can do whatever you want to do. So.
I love that message. I'm so glad that you share that too, because in fact I was interviewing a gentleman in New Jersey a couple weeks ago. My friend Evan Chait, who runs a physical therapy place there. They're what they say, bridging the gap between physical therapy and personal training. It's a really great place. He talks about the similar thing, be 1% better. And he brought up an old Tony Robbins thing that I remember that I'd forgotten about, called CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. 1% better today.
Right. Yes.
And that's compounding, because 1% each day isn't 100% 100 days later. I don't know what it is mathematically, but it's way more than 100%. So it's just a great way to raise the bar a little bit at a time.
A little bit. Exactly.
Little steps.
That's right.
The giant steps, giant leaps.
That's right. Yeah,
awesome.
That's exactly it. And the small, little tiny win.
Yeah. Yeah, and your story about Thailand, that is so inspiring, man. I mean, think about that. I mean, how many people would decide, I want to fight a Muay Thai fight in Thailand, and I'm going to train for it, and I'm going to fly there and do it? I mean, there probably aren't many people,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, it was something that I've always, I'd gone to Thailand the year before, and I was just like, I have to fight, and I want to do this, and I know I'm starting at ground zero. I know my kicks aren't the best. I know my techniques aren't the best, but I'm going to do whatever it takes to be able to get into that ring with someone who's got 60 fights and fight them. Yeah. Right, and I'm going to do it no matter what it takes.
That's another example of you set your sights on it, and you did what it took to get there, and you can do it. If you really want it bad enough, you do it, right?
For sure, 100%. 100%.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Funk. Thanks so much for joining me. It's a real honor again. I'm thrilled to have you on our program. So,
yeah, it's a great one. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. So,
yeah, thank you so much.
All right, buddy. Well, Sterling Health Fitness and whomsahealthy.com. Be sure to check those out. And, of course, you want to check out Funk Roberts, and his links have been flying around here during the whole thing. So be sure to click on them and check it all out. Thanks again for joining us. Have a great day.
Take care.
All right.